Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
I'm here today with Jeanette Chasworth. She is known as the Color Whisperer because of her approach to creating incredible rooms and homes for her clients. Now, she approaches things a little bit differently. Instead of fitting her style to a project, she uses her intuition and design knowledge to create a unique environment that weaves together each client's unique tastes, their preferences, and their functional needs to create a space or a home that reflects their personality. So, I'm glad to have you, Jeanette Chasworth, the Color Whisperer. Welcome to Business Innovators Radio.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Tell me how you got started doing this and how did you become known as the Color Whisperer? That's such a cool name, and it sounds really fun. So tell us how you got started and how you got that reputation for being the Color Whisperer.
I was kind of raised with it. My mother, she knew when she bought her house, she was going out of that house feet first. And since most people move every 7 years, she thought it was perfectly normal to change the house around every 7 months or 7 weeks or even 7 days. Mm-hmm. So my sister and I were her crew, moving furniture, painting, peeling wallpaper, putting up wallpaper, whatever it was. And this was normal for us. It didn't quite click till I was in my 20s, but not everybody did this. When I got to school, I fell in love with interior design. I took one class, and that was it. Oh my gosh. I've loved furniture since I was a kid. And when I found out I can make money doing this, that was it.
Well, that's always nice if you can find an alignment. Yeah.
So I went to design school, and there we had a class on color. And it was fascinating to me how much color influences how we live our lives. And I thought, well, this can't really be real. And I started paying attention around me, how things were being used, how I was being influenced by them. And it was amazing to me how much it was. About the same time, I had gotten into some wardrobing getting my colors done for myself, and I thought how much more powerful I felt in my own colors. And I really felt how much color had an influence over how I felt. So in the past where I might have worn blue and white, that really drained me. But when I wore brown and green, that really gave me energy.
Interesting.
And then when I started my own business, I had a couple clients that really showed me the power of it. I had one client, we were going through her house. We get into the master bedroom, and there's mom and dad's bed, and there's another twin bed for the 8-year-old. Well, this is kind of odd. And she said, she has nightmares all the time from 9/11. Well, this was 5 years after 9/11. And so I asked if she knew anybody that was in it. And she said, no. I said, well, I want to see her room. So we go in her room, and mom had done this beautiful carousel princess room for her little girl. Mm-hmm. She really had tried to do a great job. And it was beautiful. I mean, I have to say, it was very pretty. But her little girl had dyslexia. And there were these stripes on the wall, about 12, 15 inches wide. And with dyslexia, this little girl's eyes wouldn't see those stripes straight. They were jiggling. So that moment right before the towers fell, that's what she was seeing. So all around her were these towers that were about to fall, and she had nightmares, and she couldn't sleep. So I told her, I said, dyslexia is difficulty with learning, and yellow helps people learn better. So that's why we have yellow pads to write on.
Interesting.
So yeah. So one can of paint, and her nightmares improved. Mom and Dad got their bedroom back, And what doctor would have come up with that prescription?
That is amazing that just changing the color can have such a psychological impact on someone. Did you just stumble into this trial and error, or is there a kind of a rationale that you've developed for figuring out what colors go with what? How do you figure that out?
So there's 4 parts of it, and I cover 3 of them in my book. And the first part is color theory, which we learn in design school. The second part is color psychology, which we also learn in design school. The third part I call color personality, and that has to do with the wardrobing and which colors go with which personality. So I have there's 4 different personalities, and that gives me a group of colors for each one. And then there's the 4th aspect, and that's not in my book because that's the whispering. I don't know how to write it.
That's the secret.
Me.
Yeah, that's the secret sauce, right?
That's me, yep. And what it really comes to is in my mid-20s, I had asthma really bad. And through one of God's little strokes of genius and luck and love, I found somebody who was able to cure my asthma with a holistic healing treatment. And that really opened my eyes up to a whole different way of looking at the world, of listening to people and listening to what was going on around me. And he eventually taught me what he did, which was fascinating. So I got to learn to listen to the body differently. And at one point, I sat there and I thought, this is nice, but what if I could do this with houses? And so I tapped into that same feeling and started using it in the house and with my clients. And that's where the whispering comes in. That's why I'm the color whisperer, because I'll say stuff like, the house wants this.
The house wants this. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
We were redoing our kitchen. It was so funny. My husband wanted these hexagonal knobs so bad. And I liked them too. I was perfectly fine with it. I must have bought 12 ones, tried them out, and brought them back. And finally, I bought some that were relatively simple, but they had a nice bronze finish on them. And I said, these are the knobs. And he looked at them and said, I don't like them. I said, look, this is what the cabinets want. He says, you're right.
I love it. So the thing that comes to my mind as I hear you describe this is it's kind of like Fung Shui in the sense of trying to arrange your environment in a way that has good energy, but you're more focused on the, I guess maybe the ambiance of the room or the decor as far as the color is concerned. So is it kind of like a color feng shui? Is that a fair way to put it?
It's a similar feeling. It's not just color. It also has to do with shapes, textures, styles. All of that plays into it. I have worked with feng shui people in the past, and we both usually come up with similar colors from different angles. So there is something to having the right energy for the room. I also pay attention to the personality of my client and the house. Every house has its own personality as well. And it's blending the two so that everybody's happy. The clients need to be happy. The house needs to be happy. And it's everybody in the house that needs to be happy. It's not just one person.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What would you say, because you're dealing with clients and you've looked at a lot of different situations, what would you say is the most common problem with the people that you go and that you help? What do you keep seeing cropping up over and over again that it's like, wow, this is, if you could solve this problem, you would be really in alignment? What would you say is the biggest problem you run into?
One is people are overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They watch HGTV, and yeah, I don't need to go any further there, do I? And they read the magazines, and it's, oh, I'm going to paint my house this color because, pick your person said this is a great color. And the thing is, every color is going to look different in every house, in every room, sometimes even on every wall. And it's going to look different from morning to night. And what happens is people don't pick colors with their gut, they pick them with their head. So if you think about this for a minute, maybe with guys it's not so much, but you go through color phases with your clothes. Maybe you've had a green phase or a blue phase. Suddenly you're just buying clothes of a different color, and you don't know why. I guarantee you there's been a change in your life going on where you need that new color, and that color is helping you. And when you start thinking about that, you go, oh, yeah, I've done this. So if you pick the color with your gut, which most people aren't used to doing, more often than not, you will be right. It's when you pick your color with your head and you follow what some expert says that has never been in your house, doesn't know you, has never had any contact with you. They're following some generic plan. That's not going to be the right color for you.
Interesting. What is one thing? I always like to try to get one thing that our listeners could do right now that would help them make an immediate improvement in this area. Is there anything they could do that would just really make things better, just on their own, kind of a do-it-yourself solution?
Well, an easy thing is they can get my book, which is What's Color Got to Do with It? And it is the answer to what you're...
What a great title. What's Color Got to Do with It?
But the book walks you through, like I said, the 3 of my 4 steps. It's very easy to read. You can read it in sections. You say, I love red. You can go read on red. But it gives you some very easy to read, piecemeal things where you can make a more educated decision on your own. I always say, put up samples on the wall, see it in the morning, see it at night, keep it up a couple days, and put a big sample on the wall. I mean, like 2 feet. Don't be skimpy with the paint. You got to buy the sample anyway. Yes. See how it changes. And, be gutsy. Don't get away from the whites and, just because somebody said white makes things look bigger, it doesn't. It's how much light you have in the room that makes things look bigger, and it's how much light the paint reflects. So you can have a darker color that reflects a lot of light, and it can make the room look bigger than a white that sucks the light in.
Interesting. Yeah. So I get what you're saying with the sense that people are overwhelmed, and even if they try to do the do-it-yourself solution, a lot of times they're so overwhelmed they don't know where to begin. What would be some of the advantages of working with a professional like you that would really improve their chances for success in this area?
Well, working with a professional, obviously, we do it every day. We know how things are going to look. We've seen how the colors work together. You may be changing your house around, a few times in your lifetime. So we've seen a lot more. We know what's out there. We do stay up with the trends if that's what you want. I don't believe in just doing, like right now, gray is really trendy. I don't believe in doing gray because gray is trendy. I believe in doing gray if gray is going to make you feel better. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, gray is going to be here at least through the next election and probably the second one after that. God help us if either one of them get in 2 terms. We got 3 more terms of gray because the gray is a reaction to the market collapse that we had. When 9/11 happened, we wanted brown because we wanted to feel close to the ground and we wanted to feel safe. When the market collapsed, ground wasn't sturdy enough. We wanted slate. We wanted rock. And that's why all this gray is in right now.
Interesting. So could we get a little color analysis from you on the presidential candidates? What do the colors what do the colors tell you about the future?
I'm scared.
Well, you opened a great big door there, so.
I did. Well, okay, there's no good answer here, but the gray is going to stick around because we need to feel safe. I really don't think, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place with either side here. I don't feel optimistic really either way. So it's going to take a while for us to get through that change, whatever that is, and whatever changes they want to bring about. So gray is going to stay. What's interesting to me is right now, the grays are taking a green and a blue tone. Both green and blue are healing colors. Blue is physically healing. So that's why you see blue in hospitals. And green is emotionally healing. And so we're going a lot more towards these very calming colors. The colors that are out for this year, that are the color of the year, just very soft, calm pink. Pink is also a calming color, and this very soft, calm blue, which intriguing. We have a guy and a girl running for president, and so I think they're trying to alleviate some of that stress of what's obviously going to happen. As far as what they're wearing, neither one of them have a great sense of what colors really work for them. I think that Hillary does a little bit better. Trump has got this pink tie thing, which completely goes against everything he wants to present. It's not like the power pink, it's this faded pink thing. And like, it doesn't match his skin tones. It doesn't match any of his personality. Why are you it's trying to make him look sensitive, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's a huge disconnect with everything else that he is. It would be like, it's as much as if he just put on bright red lipstick. That's what I see. And he wears, I haven't really seen a lot of the campaign, but on his shows, he always seems to wear that pink tie. Like, oh, please. Hillary has kind of grayer features, and she does play with those. But, we've known for a long time she's not the most feminine of women. So she doesn't play up that part of her because it's not authentic. I don't see any colors as far as like who's going to win right now. I don't know. It scares me either way. So,
well, I put you on the spot with that question a little bit. You opened the door for it, and I was intrigued and thought,
that's all right.
Well, I just wonder if there's a correlation here between the colors that you're talking about. So then the question, based on what you've been saying so far, would be, what color does the country want? Right? It's like, what color does the House want? The House wants?
What color does the House want?
Yeah.
What color does the country want?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to save that for a political consultant, I guess.
I'd have to think about that one a little bit more. They're doing this. What I want to see, and they did this a little bit. We had orange a few years ago, and orange was a year of change. And I could be wrong on this, but I think that was one of the times Barack got elected. Maybe it was the first time he got elected. Was it that long ago? Mm-hmm. But anyway, it was a year where there was a lot of changes. Maybe it was when he got the healthcare bill going. I don't remember. But and that was his motto: change. And
yeah.
So we had orange to go with that. And you did see a lot of change going on in people's lives, and orange helps you deal with change. I think we definitely have gray to get us through whatever change is coming up in the next election, and let's hope for good things. I hope whoever wins can do some good things.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. Maybe you've got a completely another venture here. You could do consulting for spaces and for home decor, and in the evening you could be a political color analyst for Fox News or something. I don't know.
But then I have to watch it all, too.
I hear you. So you're a busy lady. You've got a lot going on. You've got your clients, of course, and your business. And you've also got a book. So what are you working on right now that's got you busy and got you really excited that you'd like to share?
The newest thing I've done, which is really fun, is I have partnered with a company that does recycled paint. And I've created Nature's Palette paint. And so, I don't know, at least here in California, we have to bring all of our paint to the recycling center. It's not toxic. It's too toxic for the landfills. So we take that old paint, we turn it into new paint, and then we resell it. And I've created a palette for that, using much of my system that I use. So there's some really beautiful colors. They're more on the darker side because it's recycled paint. We can't quite do all the bright whites that we would like, but it's really been exciting. So it's a great way to be green, recycle, and you've got some beautiful colors to work with. We have 20 colors to work with, and then if you buy enough paint, we can make whatever color you want.
That's really cool. Yeah. So is that do you have a lot of recycled paint to work with, or what is that like?
We haven't run out yet.
Yeah. Where does recycled paint come from? Is it just leftovers or from the factory, or how do you get your hands on that much recycled paint?
So it comes from a lot of places. It might be like cities have to buy a ton of paint and they have leftovers, so they just bin it up and give it to us. Another thing that will happen is maybe there's a bunch of cans that got stuck out in the rain and the cans got rusted. They can't sell those, but the paint inside is just like brand new. So that's paint that we can use. There's recycling centers all over the place that take used paint. That's all paint that we can use. So there's a lot of different places that we can get it from. We haven't run out yet.
Wow, that's really cool.
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what a great way to be environmentally friendly and also put your expertise to work there to create the color palette.
Yeah.
Cool. How can our listeners get in touch with you, Jeanette, to find out more about your book and about your paints and the different things you've got going on? Sure.
My website is thecolorwhisperer.com. TheColorWhisperer. That's the easiest way to get hold of me. My phone number's there. My email's there. I'm on Facebook under Jeanette Chasworth, The Color Whisperer. And those are the best places to get hold of me.
Awesome. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you'd like to share with us as we wrap up?
Just be brave. Be adventurous. Take a chance on color, and you'll be amazed what it can do for you.
Awesome. Jeanette Chasworth. She's the author of What's Color Got to Do with It? And she can be found at thecolorwhisperer.com. Jeanette, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.